Hello students, how are you all? So let's start with today's biology class of class 12. So yesterday we have finished with male reproductive system and today we will start with female reproductive system. So I have shown you a sectional view of female reproductive system. In this there is primary sex organ, like in male reproductive system it was testes. In female it is called ovary. Testes were paired, similarly ovaries are also paired. There are two ovaries present in females. Next is accessory ducts, and why they are called primary sex organ? Because they will secrete female gamete as well as female sex hormones. Okay. So why it is called primary sex organ? Because it will secrete female gamete or egg and female sex hormones. Next is accessory ducts. Accessory ducts will include those ducts which will help to transport the egg secreted by the ovary to the site where it will fertilize with the sperm. It will include oviducts, they are also called fallopian ducts, fallopian tubes, uterus and vagina. Means they are the accessory parts of the female reproductive system which will take part in fertilization, which will help in fertilization. That is why they are called accessory ducts. Next is accessory glands. Accessory glands include vestibular gland. When we will study about external genitalia of female reproductive system, then we will discuss in detail about vestibular glands, what is their role. And external genitalia, in external genitalia we will study how the sperms will be transferred to the vagina and then to the uterus and then to the fallopian tube for fertilization. So these are the parts which we are going to study in female reproductive system, that is ovaries, oviducts or fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina, vestibular glands and external genitalia. Let us now see the structure here. So these two are the paired ovaries which are present in the female, and these ovaries are attached to the uterus with the ligament so that they can get support. So these ovaries, these are the site for the production of ovum or egg and female sex hormone. We will discuss in detail the structure also. Then the next part is the fallopian tube. These are also called as oviducts or fallopian tube. It has three parts. It is a tube-like structure on both the sides. They are also paired. The lowermost part is called ampulla, which has a finger-like projections to catch the ovum released by the ovary. The next part is infundibulum, where the fusion of male and female gamete takes place, and the next part is isthmus. So this is just an overview. In detail we will take up each and every part. Then these fallopian tubes, they will attach together to this structure which is called uterus. So this is the uterus. The upper part is called uterine fundus and the cavity inside the uterus is called uterine cavity. Now this lining of uterus, it has a specific it has a special function. It helps in menstrual cycle as well as in the development of the embryo if fertilization takes place. We will take up in detail. The innermost lining is called endometrium. The middle one is called myometrium and the outermost is called perimetrium. Now this uterus is a pouch-like structure in which the further embryo development will takes place. At the end of the uterus, the structure here, this is called cervix, which is for the connection between uterus and the vagina. And the canal through which the sperms are released into the uterus is called cervical canal, which is covered by cervix, means the canal which is passing through the cervix is called cervical canal. And this portion, the lower part below the cervix, is called vagina. So this is the part of the female reproductive system into which the penis will be inserted to release sperms, so that the sperms can pass through the cervical canal to reach the uterus and then to the fallopian tube for fertilization. So is it clear? It is just an overview. We will take up in detail each and every part. So these are the two paired ovaries which will form the female gamete as well as the female sex organs, which is further not directly connected with the fallopian tube, but the ampulla portion has a finger like projections to collect the sperm, to collect the female gametes. Then these tube like structures, that fallopian tubes, will connect itself to the uterus. Uterus end is called cervix, which is connected with the vagina, from where the sperms will enter into the female reproductive system. Now we will take up each and every part in detail one by one. So let us now see the ovary, primary sex organ. These are paired, means two ovaries are present and located on each side of the lower abdomen. So what is the location of the ovary? They are located on each side of the lower abdomen, 2 to 4 centimeter in length, and they are connected to the pelvic wall and uterus through ligament, as I have shown in the previous diagram. So they are connected with the uterus through ligament. They are called primary sex organ because they secrete egg and female sex hormones. Now let us see the internal structure of the ovary. I have shown you a sectional view of the ovary. So the outer lining through which the ovary is lined is called germinal epithelium. This is called germinal . So is it clear? The outer lining is called germinal epithelium. Because why it is called germinal epithelium? Because the cells of this epithelium will act as the myocytes, which will undergo meiotic division to form the egg cells. Now can you see this circle? And one more thing, the inner part of the ovary, which is enclosed by germinal epithelium, is called ovarian stroma. It is called ovarian stroma. It is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. So the outer layer, you can see here the dotted one is the cortex part, outer one, and the inner portion is called medulla. Okay. So it is called ovarian stroma, outer one is called cortex and inner is called medulla. Now let us see what are these structures I have shown here. These are actually follicles. Follicles are the structures which will undergo development to form the egg cell. This is the development of a follicle. So the number of all the follicles present in the ovary are in the form of primary follicles. So there are so many primary follicles present in the ovary. Actually, these number of primary follicles in both the ovaries is decided at the time of embryo development. Means when the embryo develops, at that time if the growing embryo is a female embryo or female fetus, then the ovary development will take place. At that time the number of follicles will be decided. It is in around lakhs. Okay. So this number is fixed, and at the birth this number of follicles till the birth they will be formed and they will saved in the ovary. When the puberty will takes place, these primary follicles will undergo development and maturation to form the egg cell. So is it clear? तो दोनों ओवरीज जो होती हैं उनके अंदर प्राइमरी फॉलिकल्स का नंबर फिक्स होता है और वो ओवरी के अंदर ही रहते हैं, and at this primary follicle stage only, but at the female start moving towards the age of maturity or puberty, that time the primary follicle will undergo development to form the egg cell. So this is the developmental stages of the follicle. This is primary follicle, it will further undergo development to form secondary follicle. Then this is tertiary follicle. In tertiary follicle, the cells, more and more cells will develop and a mass of cell will be formed around a single cell which will later form the egg cell. This full process we are going to study in the gametogenesis step, as we have discussed that there are various phases in human reproduction. Now we are discussing only the reproductive system. First step is gametogenesis, in which we will study spermatogenesis and oogenesis in detail. Then you will see these all steps in detail. Now as the development further will proceed, the tertiary follicle will be converted into Graafian follicle. Now this Graafian follicle will undergo maturation, so that the egg cell which is going to be formed will further proceed in its development by oogenesis process. Now this Graafian follicle will be fully mature and will release the ovum outside the ovary. As I told you, the ovum will be released from the ovary and then it will enter into the fallopian tube, where its fertilization with the sperm will takes place. Now this Graafian follicle, it will rupture and the ovulation will takes place. This release of ovum from the ovary is called ovulation. Then this Graafian follicle, after release of ovum, then it will be converted into this structure which is called corpus luteum. This all structures in detail, and one by one step we are going to study in the menstruation cycle. That will be the later on we will study the steps in detail, but till now you should be clear that this is the internal structure of the ovary, where the primary follicles are there, which will undergo development at the time of puberty, and they are covered with the germinal epithelium, and this Graafian follicle will release the egg from the ovary. And this is all about the structure of ovary. Let us take up the next structure of female reproductive system. Let us now see the accessory ducts, that is oviduct, uterus and vagina. So ducts are also called as fallopian tubes. They are 2 in number, as we have seen in the previous diagram. So it has 3 parts: infundibulum, ampulla and isthmus. So infundibulum is the lowermost part which is towards the ovary, and it is dilated at its end with the finger like projections, like it was like this. So it is dilated at the end, which has the finger like projections, so that these finger like projections are called fimbriae, and it will collect the egg released by the ovary after ovulation. Next part is the ampulla part, that is the middle part. It is the longest and the widest part of the fallopian tube, and it is the actual site where the fertilization will take place, because the infundibulum will collect the egg from the ovary, which will be then transferred to the ampulla portion through the small cilia present in the fallopian tube. There are cilia present in the fallopian tube, which will help in the movement of the egg towards the ampulla, where the sperm will fertilize the egg. And next part is the isthmus part, which is towards the uterus, which will connect the fallopian tube with the uterus. Next is the uterus. Uterus plays very much important role, because the development of the embryo will take place inside the uterus, as well as in the menstruation flow also, because the endometrium developed inside the uterus will be helping in the release of the menstrual flow. So uterus is a hollow muscular inverted pear shaped structure. It is a hollow structure, muscular because it is guarded by muscles, and inverted pear shaped structures. And the 3 lining of the uterus are endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium. Endometrium is the innermost one, myometrium is the middle one, and perimetrium is the outermost one. Endometrium is with the rich supply of the blood. As the puberty starts in females, this endometrium with the rich supply of blood is released out from the uterus, from the body, in the form of menstrual flow. Then myometrium is the middle one, which is which has the muscular arrangement for it will help in the contraction of the uterus for release of the menstrual blood out of the uterus, as well as at the time of delivery. The contraction of uterus is because of the muscles present in the myometrium. And perimetrium is the outermost one, which is just a protective covering. So uterus is the structure where the endometrium develops for the menstrual flow, or if fertilization takes place, the development of the embryo will take place inside the uterus. Next is the vagina. It is a 10 centimeter long tube, and the lowermost part of the uterus is called cervix. So vagina is in direct contact with the cervix. So it provides the pathway for menstrual flow, as the endometrium, when it sheds or breaks, it will release the blood will be released out through the vagina outside the body, as well as it will act as a receptacle for sperm during intercourse. So when the sperms are released into the female reproductive tract, so the vagina will act as a passage for the release of sperms into the female reproductive tract through penis. So these are the accessory ducts. Let us now discuss the external genitalia and accessory glands of female reproductive system. So let's now see the external genitalia of female reproductive system. So in this, these are the parts which are included. The upper one is called mons pubis and this part is called clitoris. So clitoris is somewhat, you can compare clitoris with the glans penis of the male. It is just homologous to that structure. The next to the clitoris, these are the two folds of the skin. The outer one is called labium majorem and the inner one is called labium minorium. Like the testes are there in the scrotum, similarly these labium majorem and labium minorium will act like a scrotum, which are homologous to scrotum, and they will provide the protection to the inner delicate portions of the reproductive system. Then out of these, the labium minorium, inner to the labium minorium, the two openings are there. Here you can see the upper one is the urethral opening and the lower one is the vaginal opening. So urethral opening is for the passage of urine and vaginal opening is for the through which the sperms can be released into the female reproductive tract. So as in male reproductive system, there was a common passage for urine as well as for the sperm, but here the different openings are there. Urethral opening on the upper side for the passage of urine and the vaginal opening through which the sperms can be released. In the vaginal opening, the penis is inserted to release the sperm in the female reproductive tract. Then vestibular glands are the glands. There are two vestibular glands present on the either side of the vaginal opening, and they secrete the secretions which will provide lubrication during sexual intercourse. So this is all about the external genitalia of female reproductive system. With this, we are finished with the female reproductive system. Next, we will take up the next part. The mammary glands, they also play an important role in the after fertilization, like for nurturing the baby for milk production. We will discuss the structure of mammary glands and breasts as well as the gametogenesis process in the next video.